Are we in a bubble? Are we making our way to bubble land? Are we on a journey to bubble world? Is the real estate market in a big bubble that's going to pop? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Joshua Cornish, aka the Woodworking Realtor. So why do they call me the Woodworking Realtor? Because I believe that every family needs a home and a solid table to gather around and to grow stronger. So my clients get both. A home that they can be proud of and a solid wood, custom built, farmhouse style dining table. Because strong families are built in strong homes around strong tables. Hey, I'm Joshua Cornish, the Woodworking Realtor. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to watch this video. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk about what's going on in this 2021 real estate market. Are we in a bubble? Prices are skyrocketing, still going up pretty strong. No indication really of anything slowing down. Are we in a bubble, right? People are scared. Is it going to be like 2008, watching their back? You know, it's crazy out there. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive right in. And before we do, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to get more material on the Menifee and surrounding areas. Real estate matters anyways in those areas there. And yeah, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and do whatever else you got to do. So let's jump right into it. So what's the main thrust, what's the main motivation for this for these prices, for the values of homes going up so rapidly, right? You probably heard it before. It's inventory, low inventory specifically, but it's supply and demand. It's not low inventory within itself, right? It's the folks who want that low inventory, right? Who want the inventory that cause it to be low inventory because it's being consumed, right? So there's a strong demand for this inventory. We were already at record lows for inventory before the pandemic, but since the pandemic, it has even pushed the envelope and made things a little more worse, right? In terms of inventory, supply being out there. So the thing that's going to drive bubble land, right, is consumers just buying and driving up prices, right? That creates a bubble. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to check out if we're really in a bubble in 2021, a real estate bubble to be specific, right? There's all types of bubbles in other industries. We're talking about real estate, of course, because it's the real estate channel. Yeah, so the first thing is, of course, supply and demand. Got that out of the way. But millennial generation, right? Millennial generation, I believe, is the second largest, maybe the largest, one or two. Anyway, this is affecting the housing market because the millennials are coming into prime buying age, and they are the biggest generation, right? The baby boomers were the biggest, and they pretty much ran all industries. If they were buying houses, then it was good to be in real estate. They were buying diapers, and it's good to be a diaper maker. I don't know if it's ever good to be a diaper maker, but yeah, you get the point. So anywho, so these baby boomers are at buying age, and there are a lot of them, right? So they're coming to the market and they're looking to get homes for their families, their young families obviously, and they're looking to get home. They're looking to come up economically and get that first home. And the driving force behind this as well is low interest rates, right? Because if the interest rates were at 10%, I guarantee you no millennial would be in the market in this part of town, right? That'd be a super high payment, monthly payment, and that would deter a lot of buyers. So that coupled with, so you have the millennial generation with low interest rates, people see an opportunity, right? And whenever you have a lower interest rate, that means, guess what? You can afford more, right? It goes up 10, 20,000, and you can just afford more house naturally. So naturally what happens? Prices go up because people are willing to pay more, right? So that just causes prices to go up. So with those two, the low inventory, and you have millennials coming on the market, that combination, that doesn't really answer the question just yet. So let's move on. The next one is new homes. So they were much more conservative new home builders than they were in 2008. Just plain out. 2008 and up until 2008, they were kicking them out, right? Not even paying attention, just dishing them out, making houses like, you know, pancakes. You know, they were just throwing them out there with no regard, you know, reckless abandon, just making them. So this time around, new home builders have been very conservative, and that was evident before the pandemic because we had low inventory, right? So this low inventory, because of their conservative approach to building homes, has created basically low inventory, because usually got them kicking them out, and then that coupled with the millennial generation, a bigger generation than the last generation coming in, consuming homes, starting to make that life change, a major life change, that creates some value. That creates some prices going up. But are we in a bubble? Let's move on. Let's answer that question. So that with the pandemic, now you have those three things: low inventory already because of supply and demand and millennial generation, low rates, new home builders being conservative. That with the supply shortage because of the pandemic, right? Things stopped. People stopped producing things, right? Now trees didn't stop growing, but people stopped cutting them down for a little bit and making lumber, ready to use lumber, those raw materials, converting those into usable lumber. So that with concrete and all other materials and stuff, it just really slowed the supply chain down, and it made it scarce, right? So now wood is like more than double. Trust me, I know, I'm the woodworking realtor. Wood more than double. So what does that mean, right? It costs more to build a home, right? Supplies are more scarce. Then that creates a little problem there. So new home builders are running into that issue, or they can't get the lumber. I know my brother's buying a new house in another state, and they're running out of concrete. I mean, when have you heard somebody running out of rocks? You know what I mean? I guess it happens. So yeah, so this supply shortage is really hurting the market and are causing prices to go up. So with that being said, are we in a bubble? I really don't believe that it is a bubble because of the inventory, right? It's a couple things too that goes with that, because it's supply, it's demand for that. So if interest rates skyrocket, say if they go back up to 6%, you're gonna see stuff flatline, because people are like, but will prices go down? I don't believe prices will go down because of, you know, increase in interest rates, or a lot of supply coming to the market. Now that's a whole different, I ain't gonna jump that fence just yet. But if you have supply there actually, and you have folks really looking to buy, then it'll just flatline. When I mean like flatline, I don't mean go down, right? I mean it'll even out, start to even out. Right now we're like this, right? It'll start to even out a little bit, and we'll get a little market correction that way. And so another thing too, like you have foreclosures, right? You have investors who are these moratoriums are coming to an end, and they're looking like, I'm done with rentals, I don't want to do another moratorium. You're gonna see some inventory come to the market that way. So it's not just one thing, or it's not just two things. It's more so of a combination, a compound of things that have to happen to move. You have inflation coming in. That's what you see with the wood prices and other prices. You see that setting in. So and that creates home values to go up as well, right? Assets increase during periods of inflation. That's just economics, right? So there's so many different things that will affect home values, right, to indicate, are we in a bubble or not, right? So right now I don't believe we're in a bubble, because we do have the demand there. And I don't believe that it's necessarily a bubble. Indicates that there's going to be a large pop and then a fall. I think what's going to happen is it's going to level out, right? We're going to level out and start to get even, maybe see a little more slower decrease in home values, right? Certain areas will be worse than others. Big cities will probably feel a little more. Maybe they'll see a little decrease, certain types of properties, but areas outside of large cities where people can get a cheaper home, and you know, more property, and more of what they need to stay away from other folks during this pandemic, because that's what people are trying to do, just being honest, right? They want to live outside, have their own space. I don't blame them. So anyways, that is what I think. Are we in a bubble? Not exactly. So hey, I'm Joshua Corners. I hope this video was very informative to you, and until next time, bye bye.